Just laying on the ground, stretching your muscles out is not going to get you ready for your sport or your activity. It's really not going to warm you up at all. What's up, guys? This is Dr. Joe Ruskowski from IDPT. We're back with another episode today. This is a special one for my athletes and my active adults. What we're going to talk today about is proper warm-up, what a warm-up actually is and what it's not. Too often, people consider a warm-up as just stretching out their muscles, so they're kind of like laying on the ground, kind of lazy, easy, stretching out their hamstrings, other muscles. And the problem with that is the number two risk factor for injury is ramping up volume too quickly. So what that means is if you go from doing nothing to really high level activity, you have a really high risk factor for injury. It's almost like if you ever see a video of a bunch of guys running a 40-yard dash for their fantasy football time or their fantasy football draft. There's always one or two guys that like pop a hamstring while they're running or they're limping after it. Well, the reason is because these guys haven't done anything in so long, and then like, yeah, I'm gonna go sprint 40 yards, no problem. Same situation here. So if I'm getting ready to, play a soccer game, and then I do a couple hamstring stretches, a quad stretch, and then I go into the game, I'm at a really high risk factor for injury. So what we want to do when we're doing a proper warm-up is first we want to get our genuine mobility back, so get the joints moving how they're supposed to. And then after that, we want to take the literal definition of a warm-up and apply that. We want to raise our internal body temperature. So when we raise that internal body temperature, we're actually making our muscles more elastic, more springy, and more responsive to quick twitch. Like I mentioned, as far as your warm-up for your joint mobility, another critical factor to warming up is resetting your nervous system. So in the beginning of a warm-up, I actually want to bring my nervous system down because that's going to decrease this tension in my body, and it's going to allow me to get full joint range of motion and mobility. After we reset the nervous system, then that's when we want to start raising our internal body temperature. And then finally, we're going to switch and get our nervous system to actually rev up, because now we're getting hyped, we're getting ready to do this activity. We need to be prepared also physiologically. So what I did for you guys, I actually put together like a global all-encompassing warm-up that really will apply for anyone. If you're getting ready to play a football game or you're getting ready just to run a 5K on the weekend, either way, this warm-up is gonna be perfect for you, and it's gonna hit all the major muscle groups, all the major joints, and get you ready to do whatever you need to. So the first thing that we're gonna do, guys, is called hook lying breathing. And the goal of this is to decrease all the tension in your muscles and open up your joints to give us back mobility. So what you're gonna do is lie on your back, knees bent, and your whole foot is flat on the ground. From here, we're gonna take our pelvis and we're just gonna tuck it slightly so our back goes flatter to the ground. From here, we're gonna get a low reach of our arms. So if this is 90 degrees, we wanna reach below that because it's actually gonna open up the backs of our shoulders as well. From here, we're gonna press our heels down without lifting our toes. We're gonna take a big, soft inhale through our nose and feel our rib cage expand. And then we're gonna breathe out for as long as we can through our mouth. I wanna do that for about 8 to 10 breaths, 2 or 3 times, just to open up our whole body. The next exercise is a reverse bear crawl. This is gonna warm up our shoulders, our rib cage, our hips, and our pelvis. I'm gonna show it to you guys first and then give you more detail. So you're gonna start with your hands and your knees even. Once we start, they're never gonna be even again. So you're gonna slightly lift your knees up off the ground, and then without rocking side to side, we're gonna go backwards, opposite hand, opposite knee, and then switch opposite hand, opposite knee. Always staggered, trying to stay straight without rocking side to side. One key point to get good shoulder mobility and good shoulder blade mobility is when you're crawling, I don't want your ribs to fall forward and your shoulders to get pinched together. I actually want you to have a nice press away from the ground so your shoulder blades can move on your rib cage. Let's do this 2 to 3 times for 10 yards at a clip. All right, so the next one we're gonna do reverse cross connect lunges. So this is gonna warm up your legs. It's also gonna get a bit of rotation in your upper body. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna step one leg back. And let's say we step the right leg back, the right arm is gonna come forward only to midline. So we're not trying to over cross and over rotate. So we're gonna step back, our back knee is not gonna hit the ground, and we're gonna have our weight heavy on our front heel. I do not want you to get pulled up on your toes like this. Stay on the heel. Then stand up and switch. Same thing here, 2 to 3 sets, 10 yards at a time. All right, so the next one we're gonna do are reverse RDLs. So if we look at the pelvis model, so far we've actually warmed up all the upper fibers of the glute, but we really have not opened up any of the lower fibers of the glute, so that inferior glute. So what we're gonna do, when we get this hinge pattern, is gonna open up here to give us internal rotation back in our hip. All right, so when we RDL, our focus is on the back leg, so we're gonna take a very small step back. Our back foot, the toes, should be in line with the middle of our front foot. So it's a really small step, much smaller than you're gonna think that you need to take. So small step back, we're gonna be heavy on our back heel. Unlike the last exercise where we lunged and bent our knees, I want you to be more of a hip hinge so that we feel that back glute open up. Reach the opposite hand across, then switch. Take a small step back, feel that back glute. I want to go for about only 5 yards here because the steps are so much smaller. So the next thing we're going to do are lateral lunges. It's going to get the sides of our glutes inside our groins warmed up, and it's going to get us working lateral. So what you're going to do, let's say we're going to the right, you're going to step that right foot out. We're going to go this knee bent, so we have our hip, knee, middle of the foot all in line. So the first 2 exercises, dynamically, we went reverse lunge, which was emphasized on bending the knee, and then we went on the reverse RDL, which emphasized hip hinge. This lateral lunge is actually going to combine both of those. So you're going to step to the right, bend your knee, hip hinge, feel that lead glute, feel that backside groin, come on up. Cross your arm across, and up. Same thing here, we're going to work for about 10 yards, and then we're going to go back the other way. All right, next we're gonna go single leg bridges. We're gonna start warming up hip extension, which we need for sprinting. Now I recognize, like, at this point, if you're already on the field or you're outside on the sidewalk or the street and you can't get down to the ground, you can skip it. It's not the end of the world, but it's really a bonus exercise. If you can do it, let's definitely make it happen. So you're gonna be back in that first position that we were with our knees bent. Okay, but from here, you're gonna bring one knee toward your chest. Your opposite elbow is gonna reach toward that knee, but don't touch them. They're not supposed to touch. From here, we're gonna be pushing through this front heel as we go ahead and lift up. I don't want you to squeeze your glute. I just want you to reach up as high as you can. You're gonna go for about 15 to 20 of these, and then you're gonna switch sides. Lastly, guys, just to get us fully prepared, we're gonna do some short sprints. I typically like to recommend starting at about 75% intensity, and then from there going to 100%. What I recommend is you can work all the way up to 10 10-yard sprints or 5 20-yard sprints. I like to start short and then start to build it up. All right, to summarize, there's 2 types of nervous systems. There's the parasympathetic, which is the relaxation nervous system, and there's the sympathetic nervous system, which is the rev you up, okay? For a proper warm-up, we want to start with the parasympathetic nervous system to get us our mobility back at our joints. And then we want to raise our internal body temperature, get our muscles nice and warm, nice and elastic, and then finally we want to hit the sympathetic nervous system, rev our nervous system up, and get us prepared and ready to perform our best. As always, guys, if you found this information helpful, please like, share, subscribe. It helps us out a ton. And use this warm-up. Show me some love in the comments. Tell me how you felt after you did the warm-up. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.